Even though I'm still a little bit sick, I decided, it's the perfect time right now to talk about money in Cuba. Okay, so we are live. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to a new episode. I am in Trinidad, Cuba, currently in my bright, colorful room right here. And I decided to make an episode today. Even though I'm still a little bit sick, I decided, it's the perfect time right now to talk about money in Cuba. Okay, so it's a little bit different topic than usual, and I believe this is very, very important for everyone. Every single person that comes to Cuba needs to know about money, because they have two different currencies here in Cuba. First, the one that you're gonna get at the airport when you most likely convert your money is the convertible pesos. The convertible peso is the touristic peso, and then you have the regular Cuban pesos. They have completely different values, so that's why I decided to make this video, because I was a little bit, I knew conceptually, but I didn't know exactly all the ins and outs, and I'm going to discuss here in a brief little video. That way you guys are prepared before you get to Cuba. I'm going to talk about, the main currencies that I have seen at the airport being exchanged. They are the American dollar, with a little caveat, the Canadian dollar, the euro, and the Mexican peso. So these are the four ones that I've seen being traded there. Now, if you do use US dollars, you will get a 10% penalty every single time you convert from dollars to convertible touristic pesos here in Cuba, which could be a bummer, right? I mean, that's 10%, that's quite a bit of money. So that's why I do not advise to exchange US dollars unless you really have to, because US credit cards and debit cards don't work here. So you may have to, who knows. Now, the rate for the US dollar is 1-to-1 with the convertible peso. This is very important to mention. Going back to the currencies, the regular Cuban peso. So the first thing that you're gonna notice, and the first thing, it's the most recognizable thing, is that all the Cuban local pesos have people on it. That's the easiest way to recognize them, versus the convertible pesos, which has only monuments, and that goes for the coins as well. People versus monuments, very, very important. Now, you can take the convertible pesos, and the reason they're called convertible pesos because you can exchange them for regular pesos, and the rate is 1 convertible pesos, or 1 CUC. That is the acronym that you're gonna see in stores and things like that. And the rate is 1-to-25 regular Cuban pesos, which are also, the acronym is CUP, C-U-P. So convertible, CUC, C-U-C. Very easy for Romanians, because CUC is it's a bird. And CUP, like cup in English, right? You will see on the regular Cuban pesos. Now, you're not going to get 1-to-25 because the exchange markets, cadecas, what they're called here, they gotta make some money too, right? So you're gonna get 1 to 24 when you exchange from regular from the Cuban from the cooks to coops. So 1 to 24 is the one when you're the exchange rate that you're gonna get. Now another important thing that is really worth mentioning is, how do you know, right? How do you know if it's if it doesn't show, if it just shows 4, right? If it shows 4 pesos, how do you know which one to use, right? So, and this is where the common sense comes into play. So I'm gonna give you guys some examples, that way you can use these examples and kind of apply them. Mainly, it depends the area you're in, right? So if you see a bottle of water and it shows 40 pesos, automatically it's definitely not 40 cooks. And again, the cook, the convertible peso is a 1-to-1 ratio with the US dollar. Very, very important. If you go to a more fancier neighborhood and you see 4 pesos for like a beer, right? So that's most likely $4, right? 4 convertible Cuban pesos. So if you go and let's say you go by the hospital, there's a main hospital by the coast in Havana, for example, where you can buy a lot of your Wi-Fi credit cards, Wi-Fi cards, if you put it that way, Wi-Fi minutes actually, because it's pretty much you're gonna use per time. It's gonna show you're gonna have 5 pesos, for example, for 5 hours, right? That is 5 convertible pesos. A lot of places around the around that hospital are a lot of sandwich shops, and they're like 10 pesos. So like 10, it's most likely 10 regular Cuban pesos, right? So again, if you convert it, that would probably mean around 40 cents. 40 euro cents, $40 cents. So you kind of have to use common sense. The convertible peso was introduced, I think, in the mid-90s for touristic purposes mostly, and it kind of got adopted, and more people are wanting the convertible pesos, even though they give you the same rate no matter where you go. And I do not advise you guys to exchange them on the black market, because they try to trick you, they try to give you less and try to count it, and they try to make a big riot. So just avoid them. Go to cadecas, exchange them, get it over with. Or a lot of times when you buy certain things, you can say, hey, can I buy in cooks convertible pesos? Can you give me change in coop, in the regular Cuban pesos? I have done that a couple of times, and you know, it worked fine. Now, you know, a lot of people do want the cooks, as I said, because they want to tap in the, you know, in some of the market that is specifically for tourists. You know, you get a lot of luxury items, maybe you get certain things that are not accessible. Therefore, you gotta have the convertible, the cooks, in order to buy those items. So that's why a lot of people want that. There's a need for that specific currency. So that is my my little spiel on it. Definitely an important one. Definitely wanted to have a little bit more information. The hostel where I stayed did send me a little link with some information that was kind of useful. But again, once you get into the city, once you get exploring, once you see the prices and everything, you're gonna get a way better understanding and the feel, right? It's the feel. What prices they show if it does not have the acronym cook or coop after the number, right? So that's very important to get a feel for. So, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Definitely share this with your friends, family, or whoever goes to Cuba. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, gratitude should be the only attitude.